One of these books is kicking the other book's ass by a factor of 100. So one of these books makes 100 times more money than the other book. And they're kind of the same concept. They're essentially the same book in a lot of ways. So today I'm going to analyze why. Why is one of these making so much more money and why is the other one basically dead? So who am I to talk about this? My name is Dorian. I've been doing KDP for a number of years. This is one of my accounts. It's a real account. I've made more than $1.25 million in KDP royalties. That represents probably a little over $3 million in book sales. And so I've made a lot of mistakes and I've learned a lot of things, and hopefully I can, elucidate some concepts and clarify some things so that you can benefit. All right, let's jump in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to analyze this from 5 different perspectives. One is the concept, then we'll talk about the cover, then the copywriting, then the reviews, and the advertising. Notice I did not say keywords. So that's kind of curious, huh? That's kind of weird. I know a lot of people on YouTube talk a lot about keywords, and certainly keywords are important because for a lot of books, that's how people find the book. But there's other ways to look at books, and there's other ways to find books, and this is really a great example of one of those kind of, where do the keywords fit in? Well, yeah, we'll find out as we go along. So, okay, so which of these 2 books is the ass kicker and which one is being kicked? Well, this is, to me, it's obvious. This one here is the loser. It's made less than $180 in sales. That's probably, maybe $60 in profits in the past 30 days. Whereas this one, what happened to the cover? Yeah, this thing's always disappearing. Come on. This one has made almost $17,000 in sales with a profit, I would imagine, of somewhere around $5,000 or $6,000 in the last 30 days. And so that's a clear winner. Yeah, that's 100-fold. That's 100 times, quote, better. So concept, that's our first sort of perspective that we're going to take on this. They're both essentially the same concept, and that's, survival tips, survival hacks, and the covers are super similar. It's about a bear attack. Clearly, this one came out first in 2019, and the author, whoops, why does it keep doing that? The author here, Bill O'Neill, who's a pretty smart self-publisher. He has a lot of books and he really knows what he's doing. I think what happened is that he saw this book at some point and thought, that's a really great concept, and there's probably not a lot of other people doing it, and it fits really nicely between a couple of niches. So why don't I do that? Because I can do a better job. I think that's what he probably thought, and he ended up doing a much better job. But it's essentially the same concept. He just changed the packaging, provided a little more value, and then advertised the heck out of it. So, in terms of concept and how this kind of fits into Amazon and the marketplace, let's kind of see where it fits in. Let's just move to a different window here. So I found this book here in this category, the teen and young adult camping and outdoor activities. So this is what I would call the context. So this is where the book will show up when people are looking for books, and then they'll notice this book kind of in this category. Another type of context would be a keyword search. And then another type of context after that would be advertising. So on a particular book. So let's say, for example, let's open up this book and see if bear attack shows up on this page somewhere. I don't know if it will, but it might. Well, my internet is kind of slow today, so It's jumping around a lot. That's pretty uncomfortable to look at. Uh, yeah, it's not showing up right away, but I bet you that it probably shows up on this page quite a lot. But that would be another context that, that this book would show up in. So we've got categories, we've got keywords, and then we have particular product pages where the book is being advertised. So that's kind of that's where does someone find the book, right? The other important thing about context, or uh, yeah, about context, is the timing. So if there's already a book that's a major book that has a ton of reviews and a lot of visibility and a lot of money behind it, it's going to be hard to compete with that book. And so timing is really important, because when this book came out, it probably did not have, it probably was not that difficult to compete with. Whereas if, say, for example, I wanted to do another book on the same topic, in a similar way, with a slightly different angle, but still like a bear on the cover, or a bear attack, or a camel attack, or whatever, it would be kind of hard to compete with this book, because this book has so much. Um, there's a lot of advertising. There's a lot of uh, natural, organic ranking. There's a lot of reviews. I mean, this book is killing it. It'd be really difficult to compete with it. So, in terms of timing, this book came out at the right time, because this was a weak competitor. And I'm sorry to whoever made this book. I don't mean to insult. I'm just, it's kind of evident. So let's look at the rankings and sales through time. With the original book, it had a lot of up and down. So it sold pretty well during the Christmas season, multiple years. And probably what happened is that Bill O'Neill probably saw this book, maybe noticed it during Christmas of 21, and then decided to make a book similar, but improve on it. And then he launched it, and very, very quickly got into really, really good rankings here. So it looks, I think at some point he made it into the top. Oh, there he goes, top 100. Look at that, 94, 95. 89. Man, that's so good. So this book is such a winner, and it has to do, just to kind of wrap up the first part of the analysis. So the concept and the context, everything was right, and even if there were no kind of like straight keywords, like clear keywords to work with, it still won, right? Because there was enough there was enough demand in this category and in this category, that a blend between the two categories of trivia and survival, kind of camping outdoor stuff for kids, there was enough demand that this could work really well. Okay, so the next part of our analysis is cover. And to me, hands down, this is a much better cover. Let's look at both of these kind of up close. I wonder why. Huh. Okay, for some reason this is kind of skewed. Okay, let's make it a little smaller. Okay, there we go. So this book, How to Fight a Bear and Win. What can I say? It's boring. It's flat. Looks like clip art, and the cover was designed by a colorblind person. Whereas this one here, there's a lot of action. There's it's very dynamic, good contrast, high contrast between the background and the title. If this was very, very small, it'd be very easy to read this title. Whereas this one here, it's not as much contrast as there could be. There's action happening here that's surprising. So this is going to get a lot more attention. This is going to get a lot more eyeballs than this one. This is just going to blend into the background, and people are going to fall asleep when they look at it. So this cover is a winner. I hope everyone sees that. I don't think I need to go too much further into that. And because people click on a cover, the cover is what you see when you're looking at, let's go back to the category here. You see the cover, you go, oh, what's that? And then you click on it. So it's that simple. So anything that's got a boring cover is going to be overlooked. Okay, next. Why does it keep doing that? Next thing is copywriting. By the way, if you want to go deeper into cover design and all that kind of stuff, I will do that in future videos. This is kind of a quick teardown of both of these books. We're analyzing, what makes one, just dominate the other, and so I'm pointing out the factors that make this such an amazing book, and it will go into each of these subjects deeper in other videos that I produce. Otherwise, it's going to be like a 2 hour long video. And, no one wants to sit through that. And I don't want to sit here making a 2 hour video either. So, okay, next is copywriting. So for me, the title, the subtitle, the description, and the A+ content is basically where the copywriting really shines through. And so if we look at both of these titles, this one right here, How to Fight a Bear and Win. The concept is cool, but it's kind of a boring title. Compare that to How to Survive a Freaking Bear Attack. That's a good title. It's more engaging. There's there's a funny little swear word in there. And bear attack is much more kind of, it's surprising. This kind of hits you over the head, whereas this title is very matter of fact and doesn't really have a lot of, just kind of falls flat. So already this book, it's killing the other book just with the title. Okay. Now going on to the subtitle, what's really interesting is that this subtitle is almost great, but this one copied it, changed only 2 words, 2 things, right? So it took the number 72 and inverted it and then added, so I find that very curious. It's the same digits, but it's a larger number. And then he turned it into survival hacks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think this is mastery. This shows how to tweak just a couple of things and make a huge difference. So definitely better copywriting going on here. The next section of copywriting is in the description. We're not going to read the description. We're just going to look at it very briefly, the way most Amazon browsing, people do. Browsing people, shoppers. So this one right away, it's easier to read. The concepts, the sentences are short and they are separated by a little bit of space. So if I were to read this, it'd be a lot easier than having to dive into this big clump. This is quite a lot. It takes more effort, and people are lazy. People just want quick, bang, 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 and okay, I've decided already. So even without looking at the words, I can tell you that the copywriting and the way that the copy is presented with the spacing and the bold and the formatting, that's part of copywriting as well. And this one knocks it out of the park. This one's not bad, but it's not as good as this. Okay, we can look at the words. They might be kind of equal, but again, just by the fact that this thing has very clear, short sentences right up front, this already has brought me in. I'm already reading it, whereas this one, I kind of don't want to read it. Too much effort. Okay, so the next thing is the A+ content. And this one has it, but it doesn't really tell me anything. It just kind of shows me that this brand, this publisher, has other books. The winning book has no A+ content, which is kind of a missed opportunity, but hey, he's doing really good, so maybe he doesn't need the A+ content. A plus content is a good opportunity. So for this book here, they're missing an opportunity to convey the value of this book. So what's in this book that makes me want to buy it? Well, they're missing out. You know, if I'm too lazy to look at these other images and read anything in here, or to look inside to read the sample, if I'm too lazy to do that, then at least, you know, on the way down to look at the reviews, I will pass by the A plus content. And so this is an opportunity to kind of hook your readers with some very, very clear, very short, concise points that the readers, you know, would be interested in. And we can talk about that in another video as well. Okay, so that's copywriting. So the winning book beat the losing book on copywriting as well. Next is reviews. Ironically, and this does happen quite a lot, the winning book has a lower review score than the losing book does. So 4.7 compared to 4.6. But the winning book has a ton more reviews, so many more reviews. And that makes a difference. So this, you know, we're looking at social proof and 1,000+ ratings and pretty good score. That's good enough. That's going to work every time, you know, over a slightly better rating with fewer reviews, because this tells me that, you know, clearly a lot more people have bought this book, have really liked this book. And so I'm safe. You know, I'm a sheeple, you know, I'm a person who you know, functions like a sheep. You know, I follow other people. That's how consumers are. And so the more of this you have, the better the sheeple will respond. Advertising. Okay, so this is something that may not be apparent unless you have the tools and you know, to be able to see what's going on. And I do. I have this thing called Cerebro, which is provided by Helium 10. And Cerebro is pretty cool because it shows you keywords. It shows you, you can compare books and then see who's advertising on which keywords, and then you can see how much money or how much effort they're putting into advertising on that keyword, because it shows you like what position they're in, right? So this book is in the #1 top position on a lot of these keyword pages, which means that it has, you know, it has like the #1 spot to capture visibility, and that's the most expensive spot. And there's a lot of keywords here. So this book is spending a lot of money. I'd say probably, you know, at least 1,000 a month, maybe 2,000 a month. And so that is another reason why this book is winning, because it's really paying for a lot of visibility, which then gives it a lot of organic, you know, visibility as well. But, you know, it's a trade-off, and it's totally worth it, as you can see by my computer stopped recording there, so sorry about that. As I was saying, it's totally worth it because of the trade-off, and as you can see that the income provided by this Bear Attack book is pretty significant, and hopefully this video clarified, you know, why it's winning and what you can do to your books so that they can win as well. So again, put your comments, put your questions in the comments, and I will definitely answer. And I look forward to doing more of these, and hopefully we can all grow together. Thanks again. My name is Dorian, and thanks for watching.